My son, Michelangelo, you have heart. Donatello, you have wisdom. Raphael, you have bravery. And Leonardo, honor.
Enough talk! I dream about fighting every night!
You've got a rage problem, right?
It's not a problem!
These animated films really keep knocking it out of the park, huh? TMNT Mutant Mayhem is an incredibly fun, if not little too predictable origin story for these beloved heroes. An excellent art style, phenomenal voice acting, and a tight script make for a welcome addition to the recent hot streak film animation has been on lately. It serves both as an excellent homage to what's come before, as well as a strong introduction for newcomers to the bizarre premise that is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. To start with what will have been a draw for a large number of newcomers, the animation in this film is absolutely astounding. While at first glance this may seem overly familiar to movies like Puss in Boots and Spider-Man, the innovation expressed here is undeniable. Neon-lit strokes of crayon blended with hyper-expressive claymation in 2D and 3D allows Mutant Mayhem to stand out amongst its contemporaries. The settings in particular may shift slightly from frame to frame, like hand-drawn slides, and it's little details like this that add charm to a living, breathing world. Of course, the inhabitants show just as much life. The turtles themselves embody teenagers perfectly, helped in large part by phenomenal child actors. Every conversation feels authentic, and the four will often talk over each other as they tease and joke in a way that feels completely genuine. I will say some of the improv is pretty hit or miss at times, and the pop culture references are a little indulgent. There are entire bits dedicated to TikTok, the Avengers, and Attack on Titan. Even so, the movie manages to skirt the fine line between making our heroes charming and annoying with absolute precision, and the turtles are the emotional core of the film without a doubt. That said, the character arcs fell a little flat for me. I'll start with Splinter, since out of everyone he has the most cohesive development. The masterful Ratman starts out mistrusting the humans and actively tries to shelter the kids from the outside world. That sentence alone is probably enough for you to figure out exactly where this is going, and there are no turns. He of course comes to realize that not all humans are bad and has to let go of his kids and allow them to grow up and experience the real world. To me, this felt like treading all too familiar ground and failed to say anything unique or interesting with this trope. That's not to say the character himself was anyway bland or mistreated. He does bring the group together, and Jackie Chan is an absolute highlight whenever he's on screen. Unfortunately, the turtles are done even worse. I say the turtles because in terms of development they might as well be one character. They want to be normal kids and to be accepted and maybe even a little popular, so they decide the best way to do this is to become heroes, so they do. That's it. There is a shift in the third act where Leo realizes his motivation is shallow and he should want to be a hero because it's the right thing to do, not just because it will get him a girlfriend. However, this is inconsequential because in the end everybody loves the turtles and accepts them anyway. April's arc mirrors this, and she also gets exactly what she wants. This might feel nitpicky, and admittedly it is, but the film is standing on the shoulders of giants, so there is a lot to live up to. It's hard not to compare Mutant Mayhem to Spider-Verse and The Last Wish when there is so clearly a lot of inspiration taken here. Unfortunately, this comparison doesn't do the film many favors. The comedy, the soundtrack, the villains, and even the emotional depth on display are all competent, but don't quite live up to the others. I do want to reaffirm that it doesn't do any of these things badly, and it may even be unfair to compare this movie directly to absolute masterpieces, but again, while you're watching it, this will be subconsciously what you were doing if you're anything like me. I really did like Ice Cube as Superfly though. As an OC, he was a lot of fun. His plan is the same as Lizard's plan from The Amazing Spider-Man, by the way, except it makes complete sense here. He basically wants to turn everyone into monsters so that if everyone's monsters, he'll have to be accepted. You might see some parallels between his arc and the Turtles in this way, and of course that is intentional, except being the villain, he doesn't learn anything of course, and gets brutally murdered. Speaking of villains, we got a tease for Shredder at the very end, which was really cool. I'm glad they didn't give him to us in this film, because it leaves room for more serious tones in the sequels. Watching these characters mature and develop as the studio finds the balls to tell more provocative stories will be a lot of fun, and I definitely will be tuning in. Overall, if you want a fun, inconsequential family film with a charming emotional core, then I definitely recommend Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. Damn, that's a mouthful. The movie embodies the tone of the Saturday morning cartoons, it succeeds, and although the stakes are low and the film may play a little too safe, there is so much life on display here. I'm gonna give TMNT Mutant Mayhem a solid 8 out of 10, but that's all I got. I'll catch you on the next one. Goodbye.